Lucas, thanks for your time and congratulations on Snowtown. I suspect most people are aware of the grizzly bodies and the barrels aspect of the Snowtown saga. How's this movie approached the issues involved with it all?
Well, it doesn't quite take the point of view of having it as quite a horror or a slasher movie. It's more about the relationship John Bunting and Jamie Vlasakis share over the course of the film, and how John comes in as a sort of father figure to Jamie and brings Jamie into his world, and then once he's got him kind of in his world to a place where he can't get out, changes everything and leads Jamie on to become a serial killer in a way.
And you play that role of Jamie Vlasakis, a young man taken in by the somewhat charismatic figure. What was your feelings about taking on a role such as that?
I was a bit scared about it actually, because I was being told it was quite a hard thing to do, and I just thought I'm just going to dive in head first, see what happens, and that's how I kind of went into every scene, just seeing what happens, just going with it, and that's how it came out really.
So how did you get the role? How did you finish up getting approached and securing the part?
Well, I was walking around the shopping centre, Elizabeth Shops, and I was off somewhere else, and my brother had Alison Meadows, the casting agent, come up to him and say to him, "Would you like to audition to be in a film?" He was like, "Oh, yeah." And then I was like, "Who's this lady talking to my brother?" I walked up to him and she was like, "Would you like to audition to be in a film as well?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And so I think it was 3 or 4 auditions later, they asked me to test for other people as well, 3 or 4 days of testing, which actually went across my birthday. Justin bought me a birthday present, British India CD, who I was going to see the band 2 days later. I already had the CD, so he went back and bought me another one. But yeah, as soon as the investors approved of me, they asked me to play Jamie Vlasakis, and I was like, yeah, sure.
And have you done previous acting roles?
No, I've never done any sort of acting in my life. I had one line in a Year 10 drama play that wasn't even in front of an audience, and I failed Year 10 drama, and I've never really thought of it as a career path for me. I've never looked into it.
So what preparations for the role did you undertake? Did you get to meet either Vlasakis or any of the people who were involved, for those who are at least who are still alive?
Well, no, not really, because it was our interpretation of the characters, because there's, in a way, it's sort of 3 people. There's Lucas, there's my interpretation and what the film sees of Jamie Vlasakis, and there's the real Vlasakis. And so I wasn't playing the real Vlasakis, I was playing our interpretation and the character that we wanted to portray on screen. And so I never met with any of them, and I didn't have any contact. And in a way, even if I wanted to, there's things like suppression orders, things like that would prevent me from doing so.
Were there aspects of the role or the whole film that finished up coming to shocking you or appalling you in terms of what went on?
Well, I never expected some of the scenes to go to the places they did, and when I looked back at it, I can't believe that we went to such places and how far we went into a scene. And when I watched the movie, I was just like, wow. I was kind of speechless afterwards, and Justin was asking my opinion, and I was just there like, I don't know.
What was it like working with Justin? Because
it was great. I'd love to work with him again, and even still, when I go to Sydney, I stay at his place and hang out with him for a fair bit, and it's almost like he's a bit of a father figure in a way to me now. And it was really good.
Now, you grew up in this area, as you mentioned, where a lot of these things happen, not Snowtown, but the Elizabeth sort of Salisbury area. What surprised for you when you sort of realised that some of these things, were literally going on in the backyard or the house next door?
Well, I don't know really. I'd never heard about the Snowtown murders except the name, the Snowtown murders, bodies in the barrels. And when I found out it was in Salisbury and Elizabeth and Devon Park, I was a bit like, well, in a way it didn't quite shock me too much, because you hear about things like that anyway, happening, and I didn't really think about it too much really. But it was, yeah.
And the film first was shown at the Adelaide Film Festival back in February. It's been described as masterful, intense, brilliant, one of the most extraordinary Australian films ever made, according to Peter Gers. Tell us what it was like for you when it was first being shown and awaiting critics' response.
Well, I didn't know what to expect. It could have gone either way. It could have gone one of a million ways, really. People could have hated it, people could have loved it, and people could have just not really cared about it either. And at the film festival, walking in was just like, oh yeah, okay, don't know what these people are going to expect, but let's just go with it. And afterwards, after it was finished, as soon as the credits finished rolling, there was drop dead silence, not a word. You could hear a pin drop, and I was just sitting there like, they hate it, they don't like it, no one's gonna watch it. I was thinking it was a failure, and then all of a sudden, all at once, everyone just started clapping, and I was so relieved, I was so proud in that moment, and that's definitely a highlight, something I'll remember forever.
What, if you're not acting, what are you doing? And beyond the launch of this film next in the month of May, what do you hope to move on to next?
Well, I hope to stay in films and continue an acting career. Beforehand, I was just doing letterbox deliveries. I was going to join the army, but after filming, I spent a couple of months as a bricklayer, a labourer, and I didn't like that, so I decided I'm definitely going to be an actor now. And so far, I've just been auditioning for a couple of roles. I've been just doing test screenings for certain roles, and so far I've managed to score myself a role in a short film, so I'm excited about that, can't wait for it.
And the possibilities of this maybe leading to something overseas, I see that your looks have been compared to that of Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
What's your reaction to that?
Well, I was getting it before the film as well. It started when I was working at Hungry Jack's in the drive-thru. The first time I ever heard it, this lady just came in, and as soon as she was finished ordering, she was like, I just have to say you look so much like Heath Ledger. And I was like, really? And I went around asking all the crew at the Hungry Jack's, dude, some lady just said I look like Heath Ledger. And I'm like, most of them, not most, about half were like, yeah, I can see that. And ever since then, it kind of just, people would say it more and more until eventually I was at a bus stop once, and I walked up to like 3 people asking for directions to a certain bus, and every single person said it. I was just like, geez, it's quite something. And then the film came along and everyone was saying it, and yeah, if I, like, those are quite big shoes to fill, but I'm not aiming to replace Heath Ledger or anything like that. I'm just being myself and being who I want to be, do what I want to do. It's not like I'm trying to emulate his career.
Well, I hope the film, when it launches, receives as much popular acclaim as it has with the critics. And,
yeah.
I hope this leads to something big for you in the months
Me too.
and years ahead. Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you.